You're surrounded.
Yes, Mel, it is a dinner time break here. Ramiz Raja, over 230 games for Pakistan, a world champion, classy batsman and commentator. Thanks for joining us for Dinner with Flem.
We should end this show now. Exactly.
No, unfortunately, you've got 7 minutes here and you've got to go. But you win English breakfast.
Absolutely, love it.
Oh, nice brew. Hey.
Absolutely.
Now, you've been talking a lot
Piping
about...
hot.
A little bit too hot?
Yeah, it's all
Sugar?
right. No, it's fine.
We're okay?
Yes.
Lamington?
Yeah, full of calories, this tray. I'm not going to
Now, one of the things you have been talking about is the Pakistan batsman's ability to play the bouncing ball in Australia. Well, you had to do that in your tours here. What are your memories about batting out here in Australian conditions?
It was a nightmare. I mean, I had to deal with a Carl Reckerman.
Reckerman?
Who was here.
Any half volleys?
Nothing at all. And then Merv Hughes, who was a character as well.
Any half volleys for Merv?
Nothing at all. It was just short stuff.
Have a look at these, though. Is this why you're taking them on? Look at that.
Yeah, I mean, there's no option. But really, to do that, I did that briefly, actually. So my only sore point is that I just couldn't carry on with this. But playing the short ball was the key to success there.
Yeah, but when they bowled full, that's where we saw the class. We actually saw some highlights coming out of the break that you actually played against our own Glenn McGrath. He was going through that dumber Lloyd Christmas haircut. Was that off-putting, trying to face it?
Because I was looking at the hairdo and not the ball and the length. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
But was if you had to pick one of those Australian pacemen of the era that you played against, who would you pick?
Yeah, I think on a consistent basis, Glenn McGrath for sure, because he hit the hard length and very difficult to hit. And he was always at you, mumbling something.
Yes.
You know, it wasn't exactly sledging, but he was mumbling something.
Encouraging or more probably...
Discouraging.
Discouraging there. I tell you what wasn't discouraging, the 1992 World Cup final.
Yeah.
You went on to win it, but on the way, you had a very dominant tournament. A couple of hundreds, one against the West Indies, the other one against New Zealand.
Yeah, I mean, it was easy batting in New Zealand because after you'd done well in Australia, you knew that it was going to be easy tackling the bounce in New Zealand.
What about that shot? I don't think I've seen a shot like that. Is this in the final? Was it?
This was the final, yeah. I mean, it's just a tremendous night for us because Pakistan found itself on the big map, cricketing map, and it was because of Imran and Javed. They were both outstanding. One as a leader, the other as a batsman.
And can you remember like the atmosphere and the build-up to that? You know, 92,000 people at the MCG. Did you feel like the home crowd or the Australian crowd was slightly supporting you guys? Because you were playing England?
Yeah, out of 90,
it was all against
90,000 were supporting us, anti-English. But it was a great night, and we had confidence that we'll do it because we'd gone through hell. Yes. Reaching the final. Somebody had to lose for us to qualify for the final, which we did eventually.
Yeah.
And so when Imran had tossed the coin, he came back in the dressing room and says, we can't lose this because Gucci's body language is terrible. He says he's shivering.
Wow, that's amazing. And what about the game itself? I was there watching.
Yeah.
And I remember it was Javed Miandad and Imran Khan. There was a feeling maybe they're batting a bit slow.
Yeah.
But then the acceleration at the end, it was a perfectly timed innings, wasn't it?
That is right. Yeah, Flem, in those days, 250 was a good score, actually. And in the final, we felt that we had a chance with the bowling lineup that we had. And so Akram's two massive deliveries won us that World Cup.
Alan Lamb.
And
then Chris Lewis. Good luck
absolutely,
playing those
because
ones.
we added another slip, making Lewis think about another outswinger, and it came back sharply and dislodged the bails.
It was just bowlology goal, wasn't it? Yeah. What about the celebrations? Was it a bit of relief or just absolute mayhem?
I mean, it took a little bit of time to...
absorb
the feeling. When we went back home, it was impossible to get back home actually from the airport because there were zillions of them at the airport. We couldn't land the plane initially because there were 100,000 people on the tarmac. But seriously, I mean, we were overnight heroes, and so it went a long way in promoting Pakistan brand in the one days.
Well, talking about the Pakistan brand, you played with some of the greatest Pakistan players of all time. First off, your thoughts on the current Pakistan Prime Minister, Imran Khan.
You want me to talk about his prime ministership or cricket?
Let's just go to his playing at this stage. We'll move into politics a little bit later on. But as a player, as a captain, how inspirational.
Outstanding individual. And he was aggressive. He attacked the opposition. and he slashed mostly at us, not at the opposition, because if he misfielded, that was it. If you dropped a catch of his bowling, that was the end of your life. But a very, very tough cookie and a tremendous leader, because he'd inspire you. He'll do extra work in the nets, you know, make us run 5 rounds off the ground every time, whether
and
we fielded 90.
Himself.
Yeah, 90 overs or not, he was extremely fit as well.
Have you got his number in your phone? Is it just PM?
Yeah, captain.
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 Another
Glorious.
captain of your career, and we loved him. He was a fighter.
Yeah.
Javed Miende.
Yeah, I mean, he was a prankster. He was street smart, and he was impossible to dislodge. And you knew that you had a great star waiting in the wings to get you out of trouble. And he played the tough innings, and he was such a tough character and a great batsman.
He played in about 4 World Cups, maybe
He did.
5.
He
It was
did,
excellent.
absolutely. He wanted to coach, captain, and play the last World Cup that he was involved. So thankfully, he decided to miss the 2 options of not coaching and not being the manager.
He's coached a few times, though,
Yes,
hasn't he?
that's
There is a little bit of that. But what about Wazzy Matt Graham? For me, he was the greatest fast bowler I played against.
Yeah, I mean, he was a complete natural, Waz, because he could swing it both ways, and he learned the art of reverse very quickly. I mean, one stint in the county season, and he came back as a stronger individual and round the wicket, over the wicket. It's just mesmerizing stuff.
No, he was brilliant, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Swung the ball both ways with
Yes.
old ball and new ball. Now, what about Test match cricket for Pakistan? How much would it improve? Be a big incentive to the current players, to the Pakistan fans back home, that they could get back and play consistent Test match cricket back in Pakistan?
Yeah, I mean, Asad Shafiq, for example, has played 70 Test matches, not a single Test match in front of home fans. So, you know, it's going to mean a lot to these guys. It's going to mean a lot to the fans, because it's been 10 years since Test cricket was sort of taken away from the fans.
Home games. You don't want
that's
that.
Right. So they've been like traveling vagabonds, and it's a miracle that still cricket is followed back home. But it's a great opportunity for the younger generation to come and display their skills.
Well, we're actually going to talk a lot more about this on our Night Watchman segment with Mel McLaughlin, Peter Lawler and Gideon Haigh.
All right.
But for you, thanks a lot for joining
Cheers.
me with
Thank
Dinner
you.
with
Thank
Flem. The English breakfast has gone a beauty. You're a classy person, classy commentator, classy cover driver. Back to you, Mel.